Interesting event, this one, in the absence of Denis Pankratov, who took the double in Atlanta. He's the world record holder, 155.22. This race is wide open. A real chance here for Scott Goodman to push through. He was the bronze medalist in Atlanta. That was a good performance by Han this morning. 16 years of age, and this morning a 159.14. Hasn't gone that fast before.
Representing Australia, Scott Goodman.
Broke John Stevens' 157 record that he did at the 1984 Olympics.
The silver medalist at the European Championships, a finalist in Atlanta.
Current European champion for the 200 metres butterfly, representing France, Frank Esposito.
Boots and all. The bronze medalist in Barcelona, fourth in Atlanta. The European champion.
200 metres butterfly, the 1997 Pan Pacific Championships, and the country ranked number 6 in the all-time fastest, representing Japan, Takashi Yamamoto.
Takashi Yamamoto, fourth at the Pan Pac, so this is a step up for him.
I think one of the keys for Scott tonight in the final two is his turns. He's been losing a bit. He's a similar story in Atlanta, and this morning didn't quite get off the walls. I think if he can nail his turns tonight, Scott Goodman, it's going to make a big difference for him.
Tom Malchow from the USA, the silver medalist in this event in Atlanta. He's a strong racer from what we've seen. And Great Britain, we talked about them last night, Bruce and myself, about how they're an up-and-coming team. They've got some depth, and they've got 7 and 8 tonight, lane 7 and 8. James Hickman, the world short course champion, and Stephen Parry, the bronze medalist of the European Championships. Have their own little race out there in 7 and 8.
Looking forward to seeing Smith from the 1500 too, against Hackett and Kowalski on Sunday.
As I remember it, James Hickman, no shrinking violet, was he? In Atlanta, had a bit to say, like his own ability.
Just trying to work out what a shrinking violet was.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Big opportunity for Scott Goodman. Esposito comes in favourite, but Scott is as good as anybody.
Born in Hobart, 24 years of age, now living in the ACT, ranked number 1 in the world at the start of the day. In lane 2, going for Australia.
Oh, I tell you what, if they're in,
and they have
following the trend of deliberate false starts, Scott Goodman could be watching this from the grandstand, because that was no more deliberate a start of York Hoffman's the other day than that. I mean,
I'm not quite sure what the ruling on is in the final is. You know, if it's the same as the heat.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
They've been deadly on it, haven't they?
They have been deadly.
And I think he's been shown the door.
He's been told. He's out. Scott Goodman is out of the final of the men's 200 metres butterfly for a deliberate false start.
Well, you've got to say they've been consistent.
Not happy.
Well, a sensation at the start of the men's 200 fly then. The man who came into the day ranked number 1 in the world will not swim. Australia's Scott Goodman.
Well, we said anything could happen. I must admit I wasn't expecting that, but if they are going to be consistent, then
Yeah, I guess, you know, just because he's Australian, they can't sort of play favourites.
Well,
unbelievable.
I think we've said all along, it started with a tough call with Hoffman, and now they've painted themselves into a corner. So we'll go without Goodman. Amazing. And away, and Esposito got a very good start in lane 4. Sylantyev alongside him, up and stroking, but Esposito still under the water. Now he breaks, and he's in front. He's out by half a body length. How about that start? Frank Esposito, European champion, is going very quickly.
Almost a mirror image of what he did this morning. He did take it out strong, and psychologically, I think that could have an effect on the rest of the field as well, although Frank is out there, and it's, I guess, one less to deal with.
Interesting style he's got too. It's a freestyle style. He's breathing on the side.
Leader by half a body length. In second place, Sylantyev trying to go with him. The two Englishmen out wide in 7 and 8, not far away, but he's really going hard is Frank Esposito. Although now working closer, Sylantyev from the Ukraine, the silver medalist of the European Championships. The margin back to just over a stroke now at the halfway point.
We're going to turn around 55 seconds, 55.45. This is almost copybook of what Frank did this morning, and you can see what we talked about, the skills. The difference between him and the rest of the field at the moment is not how fast he's swimming, it's how good he comes off the wall.
That was a great turn. Hickman is working into it out in lane 7. Esposito takes a peek, breathing to his right-hand side, sees Sylantyev. Sylantyev just dropping back ever so slightly. And Malchow, we spoke of him before as a good racer. He's starting to move up as well. He's possibly gone to third.
Coming into the 150 now, this is where it starts to hurt. Dig deep. You'd have to almost back lane 3 now because Frank got tired this morning. Important to hold up if the Frenchman is going to win.
Sylantyev senses that in lane 3. He's making his move. Malchow still working hard across in lane 6. Yamamoto has fallen back. No chance for the two Englishmen. Hickman the best of them. In front, Esposito is getting very tired. Sylantyev is trying to claim him. Malchow is about half a body length away. Look at him come on. Sylantyev has got him, I think. Sylantyev reaches for the wall, and he's got it.
Yes.
Beat Esposito. In third place was Malchow. Wasn't the best of finishes. He really was reaching, but he is #1 tonight.
And it's the one that got away for Frank Esposito. His heat time of 156.32 would have seen him win the final tonight. I guess we'll never know what kind of an effect that false start had of Scott Goodman for the rest of the field. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm still a little bit stunned and shell-shocked. It's almost an empty kind of feeling.
Yes, yeah.
Just to have that empty lane there, swimming in the final, is something you don't see often, and I just can't believe it's happened, really.
We've talked amongst ourselves about this, and we've said from the outset, that very first call on Hoffman, I think we made the point that they have been harsh. We saw it again this morning.
They had nowhere to go there.
No, that's right.
Because that was as a deliberate a false start as Hoffman's. I want to make that point. I would still like to have seen Hoffman to get his opportunity in the 200.
Yeah, sure.
Freestyle.
And you wonder whether they've gone to the swimmers and the teams and maybe laid it down and said, well, we're going to be hot on this. You'd hope that they have.
It's got to be very disappointing for Scott, though. He's put in a lot of hours training.
But I'd like to see what he was thinking, because to me it looked like, hey, I'm going in. So if you do that, you must know you're putting yourself at risk of not swimming in the final. It's almost like, hey, do I want to swim this?
But it's all by degrees, isn't it? There didn't seem much in that.
Oh, I thought it was as deliberate a false start as I've ever seen. And I'd just like to know what he was thinking.